Chosen one, this message reaches you not by chance but by design. Somewhere between your silent prayers and the echo of your own breath, heaven decided it was time for you to hear these words. There is a reason you are here, reading, listening, feeling something stir in your chest that you cannot quite name. It is not coincidence. It is calling. The air itself seems to thicken with meaning when destiny begins to speak, and tonight, it whispers to your soul, "Rise, it's time." You have been wandering through seasons that felt like silence, moments where your faith was tested against the weight of waiting. Yet even in the quiet, God was speaking, shaping, refining. Every tear was a seed. Every pause was purpose. What felt like stillness was not absence, it was alignment. Now the divine current begins to move again. You are being summoned not to ordinary living, but to sacred participation in something larger than yourself. You may not have seen it yet, but heaven has been preparing a connection, a companion, a soul whose path is woven into yours by threads unseen. And this message comes as the gentle but unshakable reminder: your heart was not wrong to hope. Your longing was not wasted. There is a holy appointment waiting at the intersection of your obedience and God's timing. Listen closely, the atmosphere of your life is shifting. You have been chosen for a divine responsibility. You carry light that the world has tried to dim, faith that has been tested and yet remains unbroken. And now that light is being called forth. You are no longer being asked to merely endure, you are being asked to rise, to step into the fullness of the purpose you were crafted for. This is not about perfection but about readiness. The heavens are aligning, and your spirit is being asked to respond. This is the moment when silence ends and destiny begins to speak your name. Perhaps you feel unworthy, uncertain, unprepared, but remember this: those who are chosen rarely feel ready. Readiness is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move in faith anyway. You have walked through shadows, but it was in those shadows that your strength was born. The ache you've carried, the prayers you thought were lost in the wind, they were never ignored. They were gathered. And now they return as divine instruction. Prepare yourself. Open your heart. The appointed season has come. God is not distant. He is near, breathing purpose into your waiting, light into your doubt. What you are about to receive is not a coincidence wrapped in affection. It is an assignment wrapped in love. This is your call to awareness, to reverence, to holy courage. The message is simple but eternal. You were not forgotten. You were being formed. Now, chosen one, lift your eyes. Heaven has remembered your name. There comes a sacred moment in every chosen one's life when the divine reveals not only who you are, but who has been crafted to walk beside you. This is that moment. What you are about to understand is not about romance in its human form. It is about destiny in motion, love shaped by divine intention. For too long, you may have believed that your waiting was loneliness, that your solitude was punishment, that no one could truly meet you where your soul resides. But the truth is simpler and far more profound. God was writing a story in two hearts at once, preparing two spirits to recognize one another not by sight, but by resonance. And now that resonance begins to hum quietly within you, like a memory your heart remembers before your mind can comprehend. You were never meant to walk alone. The mission placed inside you was always designed for partnership, a union not of dependency but of divine collaboration. Heaven's design is relational, and when the right person appears, it will not feel like distraction. It will feel like alignment. This person is not coming to fix you or complete you. They are coming to awaken the parts of you that have lain sleeping through long seasons of survival. They will see not just who you are, but who you were meant to become. And in their presence, something holy will stir, an awareness that this connection is not about comfort but about calling. Together, you will carry a frequency that shifts atmospheres, that breathes courage into weary hearts, that calls light into places where shadows have lingered too long. God did not send them to entertain your emotions. He sent them to expand your existence. This love is purpose wrapped in flesh, faith wearing a human face. You will know it by its peace, by the way your spirit settles even as your mind tries to question it. It will not confuse you, though it will challenge you. It will not flatter your ego, but it will strengthen your faith. The one who comes will carry wounds that mirror your own, scars that speak the same language of endurance, grace, and growth. You will recognize them not by perfection, but by presence. Their story will echo yours in ways too intricate to explain. Both of you will understand what it means to have been refined by fire, and that mutual recognition will be the seal of heaven upon your union. This is divine partnership, not coincidence. The threads of your lives have been woven together across time, through seasons of silence and storms of uncertainty. What once felt like delay was actually orchestration. The roads you traveled alone were paths of preparation, each heartbreak, each detour shaping you into the vessel you needed to be for this moment. And so was it for them. Even as you cried out to heaven, they too were being molded, purified, strengthened. Two souls being formed in parallel, now converging under heaven's perfect timing. When your paths finally meet, it will not feel like the beginning of something new, but the continuation of something eternal. Understand this clearly: your divine mission is not separate from this relationship, it is amplified by it. The person God sends will not compete with your calling, they will complement it. Where you are weary, they will bring restoration. Where you are unsure, they will bring clarity. Where you are strong, they will stand beside you, not in your shadow but in your light. Together, you will move as one body with two hearts tuned to the same divine rhythm. You are not being asked to idolize this love, but to steward it, to guard it as something sacred. For this is not an ordinary bond. It is a covenant designed to reveal heaven's reflection on earth. There will be moments when this mission feels heavy, when the call seems too great for human hands to hold. But that is precisely why the other has been sent. Alone, you could carry part of the vision. Together, you will carry the fullness of it. What one lacks, the other provides. What one dreams, the other builds. What one prays, the other manifests. This is divine collaboration, the kind of union that makes angels sing and demons tremble. It will not always be easy. Holy things rarely are. But in the struggle, you will find growth. In the tension, you will find truth. Love like this does not weaken, it refines. It does not demand perfection, it nurtures purpose. The person God is sending is not a reward for endurance, though you have endured much. They are a reflection of it. Their arrival signals that the season of preparation is ending and the season of partnership is beginning. Do not mistake their humanity for imperfection or their gentleness for weakness. God sends people, not idols. And the power of this union lies not in its flawlessness but in its faithfulness. Two imperfect people choosing daily to live out a perfect purpose. That is where heaven's glory shines brightest. And so, chosen one, your responsibility is clear. You are called to honor this connection with reverence, to protect it from doubt, fear, and distraction, to recognize that this person carries within them keys to your next level, keys not given for possession but for collaboration. Do not reduce this gift to fleeting emotion. Do not confuse divine intimacy with worldly affection. This is something higher, deeper, truer. It is covenantal. It is eternal. When you meet them, something in your soul will whisper yes before your lips ever do. This is the companion you prayed for in the dark, the one whose name your spirit spoke when words failed. You will not need to chase them. Divine timing does not demand pursuit. You will simply align as rivers find the sea and stars find their constellations. And when you finally stand beside them, you will understand why the waiting had to be so long, why the healing had to run so deep. For only two healed hearts can build holy things. You are stepping into a partnership that carries heaven's signature. This person will see the light in you that the world tried to extinguish. They will speak life into your visions, encouragement into your fatigue, and peace into your storms. And you will do the same for them. Together, you will create a space where faith breathes freely, where destiny unfolds naturally, where love is not a distraction but a divine fuel. You will not lose yourself in them, you will find the parts of yourself that only love could unlock. So when they come, and they will, receive them with an open heart. Let go of your fear of loss, your expectation of pain, your habit of waiting for disappointment. This is different. This is divine. The heavens are moving on your behalf, aligning timing, energy, and purpose. The arrival of your companion marks not the end of your journey, but the beginning of your assignment. You were never chosen to walk alone. Now the path narrows into one road, shared by two souls, lit by one divine purpose. Step into it with faith. This is your sacred mission, and it begins now. When the one God has appointed for you begins to draw near, the world around you will seem to shift in ways subtle yet undeniable. The air itself will hum with recognition, the same way the earth trembles before rain falls. It will not arrive as thunder or spectacle, but as a quiet stirring in your spirit, a gentle whisper that says, "This is different." Pay attention. Divine timing rarely wears grand announcements. It hides itself in moments that appear ordinary. A glance, a conversation, a meeting you didn't plan. But within that simplicity lies a vibration that resonates through your whole being. You will not recognize them with your eyes at first, but your soul will. There will be a calmness in their presence that silences the noise inside you. Not excitement that burns quickly, but peace that settles deeply. That peace is your first sign. You have met many faces before, but none will feel like this. With them, the air feels familiar though you've never breathed it together before. It will be as though your spirits once walked side by side before your bodies ever met. This familiarity will not be about memory, it will be about resonance. The sound of two frequencies that have always belonged in harmony finally meeting again. You may find yourself feeling safe without knowing why, speaking truths you've never voiced aloud, feeling seen in ways that words cannot explain. It is not enchantment or emotional intoxication. It is recognition. The divine knows its own, and when it moves through two chosen hearts, even silence becomes fluent. Do not expect fireworks, expect clarity. The world teaches that love should overwhelm, that connection should dazzle and burn. But divine companionship does not burn, it illuminates. Its fire does not destroy, it refines. When you meet this person, you will not feel the chaos of infatuation. You will feel the stillness of divine order. It will feel like coming home after a long journey, not to a place but to a presence. And yet, in that peace, something powerful will awaken. The call to grow. The courage to expand. The invitation to rise. That is how you know it is from God. It calls you higher, not smaller. It strengthens your faith, not your fear. This person may not fit the image you once imagined. Divine gifts rarely arrive in the packaging we expect. They might appear too ordinary at first, too quiet, too subtle. But your spirit will feel the weight of something extraordinary beneath their calm. You will sense depth in their silence, wisdom in their wounds, and kindness shaped by experience. You will feel drawn to their authenticity, their stillness, their faith. You may even try to dismiss the feeling, convincing yourself it's nothing. But it will return, stronger, softer, insistent, like a heartbeat you cannot silence. The more you pray, the more their name will echo in your spirit, not as a craving but as a confirmation. The signs will not be external alone, they will manifest within you. You will notice a shift in how you pray, how you see, how you feel. The old patterns of fear and scarcity will begin to fade. The longing that once felt like hunger will now feel like readiness. You will begin to release control without effort because something in you knows that what's coming cannot be forced. It can only be received. Even before they appear, the Holy Spirit will begin to align your emotions, cleanse your desires, and attune your heart to the frequency of peace. That is how you are prepared for what is holy, not through striving but through surrender. When they step into your life, your spirit will whisper yes before your logic can build its walls. There will be no need to perform, to pretend, to earn. You will feel seen as you are, yet inspired to become more. They will speak words that resonate deeper than sound, words that carry the same divine rhythm that your own soul beats to. Their presence will not feel like intrusion but like invitation, an opening, a remembering. When you look into their eyes, you may not see perfection, but you will see purpose reflected back. Their flaws will not frighten you. They will remind you that this is real. Their strength will not intimidate you. It will call you higher. One of the clearest signs of divine alignment is peace that surpasses understanding. The world may not approve. The timing may seem inconvenient. The circumstances may appear impossible. But your spirit will not waver. You will feel anchored even in uncertainty, certain even without proof. That is how heaven works. It speaks peace where logic cannot. And when that peace remains, no matter the noise around you, that is the confirmation that you have met someone sent by God. Another sign will be mutual recognition. Not only will you sense something divine in them, but they will sense it in you. There will be no chasing, no confusion, no manipulation. The connection will feel balanced, sacred, safe. They will pursue not to possess, but to understand. They will listen with their soul, not their ears. You will find yourself speaking less and feeling more, realizing that presence itself has become a conversation. In that stillness, you will know that the divine is near. Pay attention to the small miracles. The timing of a message, the way doors open when you move toward them, the alignment of external signs confirming internal knowing. God often speaks through patterns, through synchronicities that seem too specific to ignore. You may notice repeated numbers, recurring symbols, even dreams that point toward the same truth. Don't chase these signs, but don't dismiss them either. They are whispers of reassurance, gentle reminders that heaven is guiding each step. And yet, the most profound sign of all will be the transformation within you. Divine love does not arrive to entertain the ego, it arrives to awaken the soul. When you meet this person, old wounds will rise not to haunt you, but to heal you. Triggers will surface, but instead of reacting with fear, you will respond with grace. You will realize that love no longer feels like struggle. It feels like growth. That is how you know it is divine. Because true love from God does not drain, it delivers. It does not demand, it develops. It does not ask you to become smaller, it calls you into your fullness. You will know them by their fruit. Not by their charm or appearance, but by the peace they carry, the wisdom they embody, the way their presence brings you closer to God, not away from Him. The right person will amplify your light, not compete with it. They will remind you to pray, to rest, to believe. They will not be perfect, but they will be aligned, tuned to the same divine melody playing in your heart. And when two people move to that same rhythm, heaven moves with them. In time, the knowing will grow stronger. Every time you doubt, peace will return as confirmation. Every time fear whispers no, love will answer yes. The world may not understand, but your soul will stand firm, because it recognizes what your eyes have only begun to see. This is not ordinary connection. It is divine orchestration unfolding in real time. You will feel it in your chest, in your prayers, in your dreams, a magnetic pull that is not possession but purpose. So do not rush to define it. Do not run to control it. Simply be still and allow it to unfold. For the one God sends will not demand your urgency, they will honor your pace. The connection will breathe, expand, and deepen naturally. It will be tested, yes, but it will not break because it is rooted not in emotion but in eternity. And as you walk beside them, you will come to realize that this was never just about love. It was about the revelation of divine order, the meeting of two souls who were written into the same line of heaven's story. When you recognize them, you will understand that the waiting, the healing, the silence, it all had a purpose. And in that realization, your spirit will finally rest. There is a power that exists beyond the human understanding of affection, a force that cannot be confined to fleeting passion or sentimental warmth. It is the power of divine love, the kind that descends not to entertain but to transform, not to please the senses but to awaken the spirit. When this love enters your life, it will not simply touch your heart. It will rearrange your soul. It will move through every fracture, every scar, every hollow place within you, and it will fill those spaces with a light that feels ancient and new all at once. This is the love that restores the image of God within you, the love that speaks to the core of who you were always meant to be. You will not fall into it, you will rise within it. For divine love is not gravity pulling you down, but grace lifting you higher. When divine love arrives, it does not announce itself with noise or spectacle. It comes quietly like dawn spreading across the horizon, and yet its presence shifts everything. Suddenly what once felt heavy becomes light. The world that once seemed gray begins to glow with color again. Your laughter returns not as a defense mechanism, but as a declaration of life. You breathe deeper, think clearer, and your heart beats in rhythm with heaven's pulse. That is the evidence of divine love. It revives what was asleep, resurrects what was buried, and restores what was lost. It is not merely an emotion, it is resurrection disguised as relationship. This love will demand truth from you. It will not allow you to hide behind the walls you built in past seasons. It will gently but firmly invite you to remove your armor, not to make you vulnerable in weakness, but to reveal your strength in authenticity. You will find that divine love is not fragile, it is fierce. It holds space for your healing, your doubts, your process, but it refuses to let you stay small. It calls you out of hiding and into wholeness. It will look at your scars and say, "These are holy too," because divine love does not turn away from pain. It redeems it. In the arms of this love, you will experience a peace so deep it feels like silence after a storm. You will begin to remember who you were before fear taught you to shrink. Every word spoken by your divine companion will carry restoration. Every act of care will remind you of the Creator's tenderness. You will come to see that love was never meant to be a battlefield, it was meant to be a sanctuary. Divine love turns war into worship, struggle into surrender, wounds into wisdom. It will not just make you feel loved, it will make you feel chosen. Not because of what you have done, but because of who you are and whose you are. And as it heals you, it will expand you. Divine love does not come to fit neatly within your comfort zone. It stretches your capacity to give, to forgive, to see the sacred in the ordinary. You will start to love others differently, not from lack, but from overflow. Your patience will deepen, your compassion will widen, and your joy will root itself not in circumstance, but in presence. Divine love teaches you that peace is not found in perfection but in alignment. You will learn that to be loved by God through another human being is to witness heaven touch earth through their eyes. This love also refines purpose. It will awaken dormant dreams, revive forgotten visions, and set your soul on fire for what truly matters. You will no longer chase things that were never meant to sustain you. You will no longer settle for imitation when the original has been divinely assigned. With divine love beside you, your sense of direction will sharpen. You will begin to understand that partnership was never just about companionship, it was about co-creation. Together, you and the one sent to you will become instruments of divine will, channels through which God's grace moves into the world. Your love will not just change your lives. It will ripple outward, touching people, places, and generations you will never meet. That is how heaven measures success, not by what you gain, but by what you give through the power of your connection. This love will not exempt you from challenges, but it will redefine how you face them. Where once you reacted with fear, you will now respond with faith. Where once you fought for control, you will now rest in trust. Divine love does not promise the absence of storms. It promises the presence of peace within them. You will walk through conflict without losing your center, because your bond will not be built on convenience but on covenant. You will fight together, not against each other. And when the world tries to shake you, your foundation will hold, because it was laid in prayer, watered in faith, and sealed by grace. Every divine connection carries its own sacred rhythm, and you will feel it in your bones, the pulsing energy of two souls synchronized under heaven's guidance. You will sense the presence of angels in moments too gentle to describe, as though the universe itself bends slightly to make room for what God has joined. And in that sacred alignment, miracles will not be rare, they will be natural. Opportunities will appear, doors will open, provision will flow, not because you chase them, but because your union is a conduit for divine favor. Heaven blesses what heaven authors, and this love was written long before time began. You will also notice how divine love simplifies what once felt complicated. The anxiety that used to cloud your relationships will dissolve. The guessing games, the confusion, the fear of being too much or not enough, all of it will fade. In its place will come clarity, stability, ease. You will not feel the need to perform or prove. You will simply rest in the knowing that this love was meant for you. Divine love does not demand that you earn worthiness. It reveals that you have always been worthy. And once you taste that truth, you will never hunger for counterfeit affection again. Yet, divine love is not only about receiving, it is also about responsibility. You will realize that you are entrusted with something sacred, something fragile yet fierce. You will feel a holy reverence toward it, understanding that what you hold in your hands is a fragment of heaven's heart. You will guard it not with fear, but with devotion. You will tend to it like a garden, watering it with prayer, nourishing it with patience, protecting it with honesty. Because when God gives you something eternal, He expects you to treat it as such. You will no longer say mine, but ours, not in ownership, but in stewardship. Over time, divine love will become the mirror through which you see God more clearly. In the way they love you, you will see His kindness. In the way they forgive you, you will see His mercy. In the way they stay, you will see His faithfulness. Divine love is not separate from God. It is His language, His expression through human hearts. When you experience it, you will begin to understand scriptures not as ancient words, but as living truth flowing through your daily life. Love becomes worship. Partnership becomes prayer. Intimacy becomes revelation. And as this love matures, it will radiate outward, touching everything around you. Your home will carry peace. Your work will carry purpose. Your laughter will carry healing. People will feel the presence of something holy when they stand near you, not because of you, but because of the love that lives through you. That is the ultimate power of divine love. It multiplies light. It turns two flames into a wildfire of grace that cannot be extinguished. This is the kind of love that doesn't fade with time but grows deeper with every shared sunrise, every forgiven mistake, every whispered prayer. It is the love that teaches you that heaven is not a distant realm, but a reality that begins wherever two souls choose to love with divine intention. And when you finally stand in the midst of it, when you feel its warmth surround you, you will realize that divine love was never something you found, it was something that found you. It was written in your design, waiting patiently for your heart to open wide enough to receive it. Now, it flows through you, transforming not only your story but the very way the world sees love itself. There comes a sacred turning point when everything that was promised begins to manifest, when what was once only whispered in prayer starts to breathe in front of you. This is the hour of fulfillment, the divine convergence of destiny and readiness. You will not need to chase it, because it will arrive naturally, gracefully, as if the universe itself has exhaled into alignment. The waiting, the stretching, the refining, all of it was preparation for this moment. You will sense the shift before it fully appears, a quiet but unmistakable awareness that something holy has begun to move. The energy around you will feel charged, not with anxiety but with anticipation. Heaven will feel closer, time will seem softer, and your heart will know before your eyes can confirm. The promise is coming into form. This is the season when faith transforms into sight. For years you have walked with unseen assurance, trusting in what you could not yet hold. Now the invisible becomes visible. You will meet the one God has prepared for you, and in that meeting, you will recognize more than a face. You will recognize purpose. Every prayer, every tear, every moment of surrender has brought you here. The fulfillment will not feel like sudden magic, but like the natural unfolding of what has always been written. You will realize that divine timing was never delay, it was orchestration. Each closed door, each detour, each heartbreak were notes in a greater symphony, and now the melody resolves into harmony. When your paths intersect, there will be no confusion. The peace you feel will be the confirmation. You will see how perfectly your stories intertwine, how your strengths fill their gaps and their wisdom fills yours. It will not feel like collision, it will feel like completion, not of self but of calling. Together, you will understand that this union was not given for personal comfort but for collective purpose. You were never meant to simply love one another, you were meant to serve something greater together. Divine partnership is not the end of a journey, it is the beginning of a mission. When your hearts align, the heavens take notice. Energy shifts, atmospheres change, doors open that once seemed sealed. You will find yourselves drawn to acts of creation, service, and spiritual awakening, not because you plan it, but because love itself becomes the mission field. This is the hour when obedience turns into overflow. God does not unite two souls merely for affection. He joins them for acceleration. Your connection will carry a weight of divine purpose. You will notice that when you pray together, power multiplies. When you speak together, hearts are stirred. When you move together, obstacles crumble. The authority of divine alignment cannot be replicated, it carries the signature of heaven. You will find yourselves accomplishing in months what once took years because favor follows function. When you walk in what you were designed for, creation itself cooperates. Your love will not only bless your lives, it will bless the lives of those around you. This season of manifestation will also bring clarity. You will begin to see why certain people had to leave, why certain dreams had to die, why certain seasons had to end. It will all make sense when you stand beside the person chosen for you. You will realize that what you thought was loss was simply pruning, that what you called loneliness was God clearing space for this divine arrival. Every no was a redirection toward this yes. Every delay was protection from what was not aligned. You will thank God for the doors that did not open, because now you see they would have led you away from your true purpose. Divine timing is not random, it is precise like the rising of the sun. As your connection deepens, the mission will begin to unfold. It may not come as a grand revelation, but as a quiet conviction. You will feel the urge to build something together, something that reflects the glory of God. It could be a project, a ministry, a family, a message, or simply a life lived so authentically that it inspires others to return to love. Whatever form it takes, you will know that it is sacred. Heaven will breathe through your collaboration. You will feel it in the ease with which things flow, the grace that surrounds every effort, the peace that follows every step. When something is divinely appointed, it does not need to be forced. It flourishes. This union will also demand discipline. Divine purpose does not thrive in complacency. You will be called to guard what you've been given, to nurture it through prayer, patience, and practice. You will be tested not to break you but to strengthen the foundation. Every challenge will refine your unity, teaching you to lean not on emotion but on faith. You will learn to communicate not just with words but with spirit, to discern when to speak, when to be still, when to pray. The storms will come, but instead of dividing you, they will bind you closer, because both of you will understand that the battle is not against each other but for each other. As you walk in this alignment, you will begin to see your purpose differently. No longer will it feel like an individual mission but a shared legacy. You will realize that partnership was never about halves becoming whole, but about wholes combining to multiply impact. The world will see your love and feel something shift. A reminder that holy unions still exist, that purpose-driven affection still carries power. People will find healing just by witnessing your faithfulness. The way you love, forgive, support, and build will echo far beyond your own lifetime. That is how divine love operates. It leaves legacy, not just memory. And while you walk in this season of fulfillment, never forget that the mission is sacred. You are not to idolize the connection, but to honor it. Your love is not the destination. It is the vessel through which God expresses His nature to the world. You are both temples, and together you form a living sanctuary where heaven meets earth. Your laughter will be worship. Your unity will be testimony. Your peace will be prophecy. This is why the timing was so important. Had it come earlier, the foundation would not have held. But now you are ready and the mission can begin. In this fulfillment, humility becomes essential. Remember that what has been given can only be sustained through grace. Divine love is both a gift and a responsibility. It asks you to live with reverence, to keep your hearts soft, your minds focused, and your spirits aligned. Do not grow complacent in the blessing. Keep tending to it as one tends to sacred fire, never out of fear but out of awe. Protect it through prayer, nourish it with truth, and guard it against pride. The same humility that brought the promise forth will be the humility that keeps it alive. And as you move forward, you will notice a greater sense of flow in your daily life. Opportunities will align effortlessly, creativity will flourish, provision will appear just when needed. You will live in rhythm with heaven's heartbeat, and that rhythm will feel like peace. Every step you take together will carry divine confirmation, not in thunder, but in stillness. You will know that you are walking the path prepared for you long before time began. The mission will no longer feel like burden, it will feel like belonging. You will not strive for success, you will embody purpose. This is the fulfillment of prophecy, the moment when faith turns into fact, when promise turns into presence. It is not the end of your story, it is the activation of it. You and your divine companion will move not as two seekers, but as one force of light, advancing the will of God through love that cannot be shaken. Heaven's fingerprints will be visible on everything you touch, every word you speak, every place your feet tread. And as you continue to walk this sacred path, you will understand that the fulfillment was never just about receiving a person. It was about realizing your place in God's unfolding plan. You are not just living your destiny, you are co-writing it with the divine. The time is now. The alignment is complete. The mission begins. There comes a moment in every divine journey when the chosen one must no longer question who they are, but walk boldly in the truth of what they were created to be. You have prayed, you have waited, you have endured, and now heaven speaks not as a whisper but as a decree. It is time to rise into your full authority. The season of hiding has ended. The shadows that once held you are dissolving in the light of recognition. You are no longer the one searching for validation. You are the one carrying revelation. Every battle you have fought was not punishment, it was preparation. Every wound you survived was a mark of your becoming. Now you stand not as the broken, but as the appointed. This is your coronation in the Spirit, the moment heaven crowns you with the truth you were too humble to claim. You were never ordinary. You were chosen to carry light where others saw only darkness. In this revelation your perspective will shift. You will stop seeing your story as a series of accidents and begin to see it as a divine architecture, every detail woven by the hands of the Creator. The losses, the delays, the betrayals, they were not detours, they were design. They stripped away what was temporary so you could hold what was eternal. You were never losing, you were being refined. The fire that tried to destroy you was the same fire that purified you. And now, as the embers settle, the true gold of your soul shines through. You are no longer the one who doubts your worth. You are the one who demonstrates it. Every time you choose faith over fear, every time you choose love over bitterness, you affirm your position as a vessel of divine strength. To be chosen does not mean to be above others. It means to be entrusted with greater responsibility. You are called to carry grace in a world that feeds on judgment. You are assigned to speak peace where chaos reigns. You are sent to build bridges where others built walls. The mantle on your life is not for decoration. It is for demonstration. God placed authority in your spirit not to dominate but to elevate, not to command but to guide. You are being asked to lead by light, to love with courage, and to stand firm in truth when the world demands compromise. The chosen one is not the loudest voice in the room, but the clearest. You do not need to shout to be heard. Heaven amplifies what carries divine intent. When you speak from the Spirit, even silence becomes a sermon. This is the season when your identity aligns with your inheritance. The divine has been waiting for you to see yourself as you truly are, not the sum of your scars, but the reflection of your Savior. You carry the breath of God, the wisdom of experience, and the authority of destiny. You were not created to shrink, to apologize for your light, or to fit into spaces that were never built to contain you. You were meant to illuminate, to expand, to disrupt the narrative of limitation that has chained generations. When you walk in your divine identity, mountains move not because you are powerful, but because you are aligned. Power without alignment is chaos. Power with alignment is creation. You have been entrusted with both the vision and the voice to bring heaven's will into earthly form. The time has come to stop identifying yourself by your wounds and start identifying yourself by your anointing. The pain you endured was not wasted, it became your oil. Every tear, every heartbreak, every silent prayer in the night produced something sacred within you. That oil is what allows you to heal others. When you speak, people will feel restoration because your words have walked through fire. You have authority not because you are flawless, but because you have survived. The broken places in you became altars of understanding. You are now equipped not only to carry your mission but to ignite it in others. You will find that people are drawn to you not for your perfection but for your authenticity. They will sense that you have touched something holy and come back with light in your eyes. That is the mark of the chosen. With your companion beside you, the mission will magnify. Together you are not just lovers, you are co-laborers in a kingdom that does not crumble. You are builders of legacies, carriers of generational healing. Your partnership is not built on convenience but on covenant. And through that covenant, you will show the world what holy unity looks like, strength wrapped in gentleness, authority balanced by humility, passion governed by purpose. People will watch how you walk, how you speak, how you overcome, and they will see God reflected through your example. You are not just living your story, you are writing a manual for those who will follow. That is why your steps have been so carefully ordered, Why your process was so precise? Because you were not only being prepared for blessing but to become a blueprint. The chosen one does not move in haste. You will begin to live with deliberate intention, aware that every word and action carries weight. You will feel heaven's gaze upon you not as pressure but as presence. Divine responsibility will no longer feel like burden, it will feel like belonging. You will realize that the authority placed within you is not separate from love. It is born from it. True authority is rooted in compassion, not control. You were chosen to lead not through fear but through faith. When you walk in that truth, even your silence will carry power. Your very being becomes a declaration of divine alignment, a living testament that obedience is the highest form of worship. This new awareness will also bring spiritual warfare, for light attracts both seekers and shadows. But do not fear. You are not who you were before, you are equipped now. The same battles that once broke you will now bow to you. You will learn to discern quickly, to move wisely, to speak only when heaven speaks through you. The chosen one does not waste energy proving themselves, they conserve it for purpose. You will no longer fight battles that are beneath your calling. You will walk in peace because you understand that the highest form of warfare is stillness. God fights most fiercely through those who rest in Him. As you stand in this season of divine confirmation, look at how far you've come. The tears that once symbolized pain now testify of endurance. The loneliness that once haunted you now becomes sacred solitude. The silence that once felt empty now resonates with meaning. You were never abandoned, you were being anointed. Now heaven entrusts you with more because you proved faithful with less. You are being elevated not to boast but to bless. Your influence will expand not because you seek recognition but because you seek righteousness. And as your light grows, remember, it is not your light alone, it is His light through you. This is your time to reign, not in arrogance, but in alignment. Reign in love, reign in truth, reign in purpose. Carry the crown with humility, for it was forged through pain. Wear it not as a symbol of power, but as a sign of perseverance. You are no longer the seeker, you are the sent. The one who once cried for guidance now becomes the guide. The one who once asked for miracles now becomes the vessel through which miracles flow. Every step you take echoes in eternity because you walk with divine authority. You are not walking toward destiny anymore, you are walking as destiny. And when the world looks upon you, let them see not a person who has arrived, but a soul continually surrendering. Let them see strength wrapped in gentleness, confidence rooted in grace, conviction guided by compassion. Let them see the reflection of the one who chose you. For that is the true essence of being chosen, not to be elevated above others, but to embody the love that lifts others higher. You were born to illuminate, to heal, to lead, and to leave a mark of heaven wherever you walk. Stand tall, chosen one. The throne you ascend is not made of gold, but of obedience. The crown upon your head is not crafted by men, but by mercy. And now, heaven itself leans forward, watching as you step into your rightful place. You are the chosen one, anointed, appointed, awakened, and the world will never be the same because you finally remembered who you are. Every divine story reaches a point where love ceases to be only an emotion and begins to become a legacy. This is the evolution of divine connection, the transformation from affection into inheritance, from passion into purpose that outlives the lovers themselves. You have walked through the fire of waiting, the storms of testing, and the dawn of fulfillment. Now you stand in the sacred realization that your love is not just a gift to you, it is a gift to the generations that follow. The divine never blesses for a moment, it blesses for eternity. When God sends two souls to walk together in purpose, He does not merely write a love story, He authors a lineage of light. What you build now, what you protect, nurture, and grow in love, will ripple through time long after your voices have fallen silent. That is the nature of holy love. It multiplies beyond its moment. The world will see your love and feel something shift. Not because you are perfect, but because you are pure in intention. The way you look at each other, the patience you offer, the forgiveness you extend, it all becomes a living sermon about the nature of God's heart. People who have forgotten what love feels like will remember when they witness the peace between you. Those who no longer believe in faithfulness will see your steadfastness and find hope again. Divine love is contagious in the most sacred way. It spreads healing simply by existing. This is why you are asked to treat it with reverence. It is no longer just about two souls. It is about everyone who will be touched by the light radiating from your union. In time, your love will evolve from emotion to institution. You will build together homes, dreams, families, and legacies that carry the fragrance of heaven. The conversations you share in private will plant invisible seeds in the world. The prayers you whisper before sleep will become protection for generations unborn. Every act of kindness between you becomes a prophecy of restoration for those who come after. You are not merely living, you are laying spiritual foundations. This is how divine love transcends mortality. It becomes eternal through impact. The same way stars light the sky long after they've burned out, your love will continue to illuminate the lives of those touched by its glow. Legacy is not built through wealth or fame. It is built through character, through the quiet, consistent choice to love rightly. You and your companion are stewards of something sacred. Every argument overcome through grace, every trial faced with unity, every moment of laughter shared in gratitude, they all become spiritual architecture. Long after your names fade from memory, the vibration of your love will remain in the world as a pulse of hope, courage, and faith. Divine love leaves footprints that time cannot erase. It becomes a model, a standard, a reminder that heaven's design for connection still lives on earth. This legacy will also shape your lineage, whether physical or spiritual. The children who grow in your presence, biological or those drawn to your wisdom, will carry the imprint of your faithfulness. They will inherit the stability that you fought for, the gentleness that you cultivated, the peace that you protected. Even your silence will teach them something, that real love is steady, not loud, that strength is gentle, not harsh, that leadership is service, not control. They will learn by watching you how to love in a way that heals instead of harms, builds instead of breaks. You will not just raise people, you will raise standards. You will not just inspire change, you will embody transformation. And even beyond family, the legacy of divine love extends to your community, your nation, your generation. It becomes a lighthouse for others lost in the storms of temporary attraction and shallow affection. Through your example, people will remember that love is not transaction but transformation. They will see that real connection is not a coincidence, it is covenant. Your love will break patterns that have plagued families for decades. Where there was abandonment, there will be consistency. Where there was betrayal, there will be loyalty. Where there was fear, there will be faith. You are rewriting history not with ink, but with action. This is the divine's way of renewing the world, one healed heart at a time. You will find that the deeper your love matures, the more your perspective widens. You will begin to see how love and purpose are inseparable. You will understand that every shared experience, every joy and sorrow, has eternal value. You will stop measuring success by worldly standards and begin to measure it by how much light your love brings into dark places. Your home will become a sanctuary for others, your partnership a refuge for weary souls. The very atmosphere around you will carry tranquility. People will visit and leave changed not because of what you say but because of what they feel. The presence of divine love transforms ordinary spaces into holy ground. There will be moments when the weight of your calling feels heavy, when the magnitude of your legacy overwhelms you. But in those moments, remember, You were chosen because you could carry it. Divine love does not demand perfection. It requires perseverance. Your consistency becomes your worship. Your forgiveness becomes your warfare. Every time you choose grace over pride, you fortify the walls of your legacy. Love is not proven in moments of peace, but in how it endures through trials. Each test becomes testimony. Each challenge becomes a chapter in a story that heaven delights in telling. You will look back one day and realize that every tear you shed watered the roots of something immortal. As time moves forward, you will begin to understand the sacred rhythm of divine love. It does not fade, it deepens. It matures like fine wine, gaining richness and wisdom with every season. You will no longer crave excitement. You will crave depth. You will no longer chase novelty. You will seek meaning. The fire that once burned wildly will now burn steadily, a quiet flame that warms everyone around you. This is what it means for love to become legacy. It sustains, it shelters, it sanctifies. It doesn't shout, it shines. And as your days lengthen into years and your years become history, your love will remain alive in the unseen. It will live in the laughter of those you've touched, in the stories they tell about your kindness, in the courage they find through your example. Your names may fade from records, but your energy will not. Divine love transcends memory. It becomes momentum. It continues moving through generations, turning strangers into believers, skeptics into dreamers. Long after you have gone, your love will still be working, healing, inspiring, awakening souls to the truth that they too are capable of holy love. This is the final transformation of the chosen one's journey, from receiving divine love to becoming divine legacy. You are no longer just participants in a sacred story, you are now authors of eternity's echo. Every moment you live in love, you leave a trace of heaven behind. Every breath shared, every prayer whispered, every act of kindness. These are seeds that will bloom long after you have stepped into glory. This is how the divine multiplies itself in the world, not through monuments or titles, but through love that outlasts time. So as you walk forward, hand in hand, remember this truth. Your love is not just for now, it is for always. It was written before your birth and will resonate long after your last breath. It is the living proof that heaven and earth can touch through human hearts. You are not merely two souls in love. You are custodians of divine inheritance. Let your life be the message, let your love be the ministry, and let your legacy be the light. For when love is divine, it never truly ends. It only changes form, continuing to shine across eternity, reminding the world that what is born in God can never die. There comes a sacred stillness after the storm, a holy quiet where everything you have prayed for, wept for, and waited for finally takes form. This is the season of divine fulfillment, the harvest of faith, the completion of a promise written before time began. You stand now at the threshold of everything you once hoped was possible, and as you look back, the path behind you no longer appears as a series of trials, but as a tapestry of preparation. Every valley you crossed, every tear you shed, every unanswered prayer, all of it led you here to this moment where heaven meets your obedience. The waiting was not wasted. It was planting. And now the field of your soul bursts with fruit, ripe and radiant under the light of divine timing. You will feel the shift not in grand explosions of celebration, but in the peace that settles deeply into your bones. The restlessness that once haunted you will quiet, replaced by the steady rhythm of purpose fulfilled. This is not the fleeting joy of human success. It is the enduring contentment of divine completion. You will wake in the morning and sense that heaven is smiling over your life, not because you have achieved something, but because you have become someone, the one God always intended. The season of striving has ended. Now comes the season of flowing, where grace leads you effortlessly and peace becomes your natural state. You will no longer chase after what is yours, because what is yours will naturally find its way to you. Divine order has settled in. The one sent for you stands beside you now, not as a distant promise but as a living fulfillment. Together, you embody the evidence of what faith can create. Every hardship that once seemed cruel now feels like mercy. Every delay now reveals itself as precision. You will understand why certain prayers were answered with silence, why certain people were removed, why certain seasons felt like exile. God was never punishing you, He was positioning you. Had you received this blessing before you were ready, it would have broken under the weight of immaturity. But now you are seasoned, wise, grounded. You can carry what was always meant for you without losing your center. This is what divine harvest feels like. Not abundance that overwhelms, but abundance that aligns. You will notice how the air around you changes. Doors that once seemed locked will open without resistance. Conversations that once brought confusion will now bring clarity. You will move through life with an ease that surprises even you, because you have stopped fighting the current of divine flow. The energy that once scattered in anxiety now gathers in purpose. You will no longer mistake movement for progress. Instead, you will understand that true advancement happens through peace. This is the sacred paradox of divine harvest. You achieve more by being, not by striving. The fruit grows not because the tree struggles, but because it stands rooted and receives the light. So too will your blessings multiply as you rest in alignment with your Creator. In this season, gratitude will become your natural language. You will find yourself thanking God not only for what He gave but for what He withheld. You will look at your past with new eyes and realize that even the pain was part of the plan. The heartbreaks softened your heart. The losses cleared your vision. The loneliness strengthened your faith. Nothing was wasted. Every disappointment was redirection. Every delay was divine design. And as you give thanks, your gratitude will attract even greater grace, for heaven always expands where there is appreciation. This is not just a harvest of things, it is a harvest of understanding. The lessons that once broke you now build you. The scars that once shamed you now shine as symbols of victory. As you and your divine companion walk forward, you will notice how everything you do together carries multiplied power. Two lights joined under heaven's blessing do not merely shine, they ignite. Your presence together will shift atmospheres, not through noise but through vibration. People will feel peace when they are near you because your union radiates balance. You will find that even your silence speaks. The world around you will sense that something holy has settled there, something unshakable and eternal. And that is because divine love, once it reaches fulfillment, becomes an environment, a living sanctuary where others can find shelter, healing, and hope. This is how your love continues its purpose, by existing as a space where others remember God's goodness. In this harvest, you will also learn that endings are not the opposite of beginnings, they are their completion. You are not closing a chapter in sadness but sealing it in reverence. You will look upon your journey not with regret but with awe, seeing how meticulously heaven orchestrated every detail. The person you are now could not have existed without the process that formed you. You have become a vessel of wisdom, carrying not only the story of your survival but the fragrance of transformation. And when you share that fragrance with others, through your kindness, your faith, your steady light, you participate in God's ongoing creation. That is the true reward of divine harvest, not just receiving but radiating. The chosen one's final lesson is always surrender. Even at the height of blessing, you will remember that everything you hold is on loan from eternity. You will love without clinging, give without counting, build without boasting. You will understand that divine fulfillment is not ownership, it is stewardship. You were never meant to possess this season, you were meant to serve it. The more you release control, the more abundance flows. The less you demand, the more heaven delivers. This is the rhythm of grace. Open hands, open heart, open sky. And in that openness, miracles continue to unfold, not because you chase them, but because you embody them. You have become the answered prayer you once cried for. In your quiet moments, when the sun sets and your spirit reflects, you will sense the gentle voice of God saying, "Well done." Those two words will echo not as conclusion but as confirmation. You will feel the deep satisfaction of a life lived in alignment, of love held with holiness, of purpose fulfilled through presence. You will know beyond doubt that you did not miss your calling, you became it. And as you look at the one beside you, the one heaven sent, you will see the reflection of your own faith made flesh. Together, you will stand as living proof that what God ordains cannot be delayed, that love birthed in divine timing can never fail. And yet, the story will not truly end here. Divine fulfillment is never final, it is cyclical. The seed you planted will continue to grow in others, the legacy you built will continue to unfold in time. New souls will be awakened through the vibration of your journey, inspired to believe that they too are chosen, that they too can find alignment, that heaven still writes love into human lives. That is the eternal harvest, the expansion of faith through the evidence of your life. You will fade from the world one day as all living things do, but your light will not. It will travel, unseen but unending, through the hearts you've touched, the prayers you've prayed, the love you've lived. So rest now, chosen one. You have done what you were sent to do. You have loved with purity, believed through darkness, and risen with grace. You have carried divine purpose faithfully, even when the road was hidden and the silence long. And now heaven returns the gift in full measure. Peace floods where pain once lived. Joy blossoms where sorrow once stood. The mission that began as a whisper ends as a song. The kingdom within you has come to fruition. This is your sacred harvest. The season of wholeness, the fulfillment of promise, the beauty of becoming who you were always destined to be. And as you lift your eyes one last time to the sky, you will understand. The journey was never about reaching heaven, it was about bringing heaven here.